Episode 1. The Blackout. The city fell silent the moment the power died. Streetlights blinked out one by one, neon signs sputtered and vanished into the dark, and with a final electric sigh, the hum of life was gone. Inside a small apartment on the third floor, Leah lit a single candle. Its glow trembled across the walls, painting shadows that seemed too tall for such a cramped space. She sighed, frustrated. Great, she muttered to herself. No Wi-Fi, no laptop, no paper submission. The blackout was just another reminder of how fragile everything felt these days. But she wasn't alone. Not really. The silence pressed against her ears, thick and heavy, as though the night itself was listening. Leah leaned toward the window, calling out softly, "Mrs. Cruz, did your lights go out too?" Her voice disappeared into the dark hallway. No reply. She wrapped her arms around herself, retreating to the couch. The flame danced, and for a brief moment, she thought maybe the blackout was almost comforting. A pause. A break. Then, her phone buzzed. A sound she hadn't expected. A sound she hadn't heard in days. She froze. The device lay on the table, its screen faintly glowing with the last of its dying battery. And there, staring back at her, was a name she thought she'd never see again. Eli. Her heart stuttered, her throat went dry. It couldn't be. It wasn't possible. Still, with trembling fingers, she unlocked the phone. A single message waited. A voice note. Hesitation kept her hand frozen above the screen. But curiosity, no desperation, pushed her thumb down. The recording crackled to life. "Leah," the voice whispered, distorted but familiar. "Can you hear me? Stay inside, don't open the door. Please, just trust me." The sound filled the small room, echoing in her chest. It was his voice. It had to be. And yet, it wasn't right. The edges were wrong, like static chewing on every word. Her eyes blurred with sudden tears. No, this isn't real. He's gone. He's gone, she whispered, clutching the phone as if it might vanish. But the message remained, repeating, warning. She paced, jacket clutched in her arms, heart racing. How is this possible? She said to herself. His number was cut off. The police. They said no trace. And now this? Then, another sound. A knock. Soft, slow, deliberate. Her head snapped toward the door. The candlelight flickered, throwing uneasy shadows across the wood. "Eli?" she whispered. No answer. The knock came again, louder this time. Her phone buzzed in her hand. A new voice note appeared, glowing on the screen. She pressed play. "Don't answer it." The words slithered through the speaker, sharp and urgent. Her pulse pounded. The knocking grew harder, faster. Her breath quickened. "No. This can't be happening. This isn't real." She crouched in the corner, clutching the phone as the knocks turned to pounding. Then, suddenly, silence. The world stilled. Her phone trembled again. Another message. She didn't want to open it. But her thumb moved anyway. "I'm watching over you," the voice whispered, glitching, almost breaking into static. "Just listen. Just survive." The candle guttered and went out. Darkness swallowed the room whole. Only her phone's faint glow lit her face, her eyes wide, her breathing ragged. "Eli," she whispered, barely audible. "If it's really you, how do you know about the candle?" The screen flickered. One last voice note auto-played. This time the voice was crystal clear. "Because you always forget to trim the wick." The phone slipped from her trembling hand. The screen went black, and the night pressed in once more. Episode 2. Echoes. Leah didn't sleep that night. The blackout pressed down on her apartment like a suffocating blanket. No fridge hum, no fan whir, no city buzz. Only silence. And beneath that silence, echoes. Eli's echoes. "Stay inside. Don't open the door. Please, just trust me." The words spun through her mind like broken glass. But they couldn't be real. Eli wasn't here. Eli was gone. The world had told her to stop waiting for him. Yet, she had heard him. She knew she had. When dawn came, the sky was heavy, gray, almost bruised. Leah pulled on her jacket, stuffed her dying phone into her pocket. 1% battery, her lifeline. The streets felt different after the blackout. Shutters rattled, people spoke in hushed tones, and every step echoed too loudly. Her chest tightened with each block. She felt watched. Finally, she reached Kai's door, covered in peeling text stickers and old graffiti. She knocked, once, twice. The lock scraped, the door cracked open. Kai stood there unshaven, glasses crooked, eyes widening. "Leah, you look like hell." She pushed past him. "Gee, thanks." Kai's apartment smelled of burnt coffee and old wires. Screens flickered weakly on backup power. Leah sat, pulling her phone out with trembling fingers. "I got a message," she whispered. Kai frowned. "So, people get mess?" "From Eli." The words landed like a blade between them. Kai froze. "Show me." Her pulse thundered as she pressed play. Eli's voice, warped, broken, filled the room. "Stay inside. Don't open the door. Please. Just trust me." Her chest squeezed until she couldn't breathe. But Kai, he didn't look shocked. He looked furious. Damn it. His hands flew over the keyboard, dragging the file into his system. "Tell me it's real," Leah pleaded. "Tell me it's him." Kai zoomed in on jagged lines across the waveform. His jaw tightened. "This isn't human. Look, those distortions. That's an AI fingerprint. Someone generated this." Leah's blood went cold. "So, fake?" "I'm saying someone used Eli's voice. This isn't him. Not exactly." Her throat closed. "But it knew. It knew the candle went out last night. Things only he told me." Kai rubbed his temples. "Then whoever made it had access to his memories, his data, or..." He hesitated. "Or what?" she demanded. "Or Eli's not the only one who knew." Before she could speak, her phone buzzed again. A new voice note. Her stomach dropped. She pressed play with shaking hands. The voice, harsher now, cut with static, forced its way through. "Don't go to the cafe." The words sliced through her. She checked the timestamp. Her heart stopped. It wasn't for today. It was for tomorrow. Silence pressed in, thicker than before. Kai's voice was barely a whisper. "This isn't good." Leah let out a cracked laugh. "Not good? My missing boyfriend is warning me about tomorrow from beyond the grave, and that's not good?" "Leah, no!" she snapped, pacing the room. "You're supposed to explain this, Kai. You're supposed to fix things, so fix it." Kai's face hardened. "It means you need to be careful. Whoever's sending this knows too much." Her knees trembled. She wanted to scream. She wanted to believe. She wanted to throw the phone away, yet her hand clutched it tighter. The screen blinked red. 1%. Kai touched her arm, gentle. "Stay here. Let me trace it." But Leah pulled back, shaking her head. "I can't. I need air." She bolted for the door. Outside, the city felt like a graveyard. Every voice too sharp, every footstep too loud. Her body trembled as if the message had carved itself into her skin. "Don't go to the cafe. Don't go. Don't." But her feet betrayed her. They carried her forward anyway. The cafe was warm, familiar, the kind of place she once went for safety. The smell of coffee and bread curled through the air, a cruel comfort. She almost laughed, almost cried. "See?" she whispered. "Nothing. Just paranoia." But then, she saw him. A man, by the window. Not drinking, not eating, just watching her, unblinking, patient. Her blood froze. Her phone buzzed weakly in her pocket, its final heartbeat. 1%. The screen flickered, then went black. Her reflection stared back at her in the dead glass, and the man at the window tilted his head. She should have listened. Episode 3. Tomorrow's Warning. The man by the cafe window didn't move. Not a sip, not a blink, not even the hint of life behind his eyes. And still, Leah knew. He was watching her. Her chest tightened, her hands trembling around the strap of her bag. She wanted to believe it was coincidence, just some stranger in a cafe. But then she remembered Eli's voice. "Don't go to the cafe." Her blood ran cold. Every instinct screamed at her to leave, run, disappear before his gaze burned through her skin. She pushed away from the counter, her coffee untouched, her heart hammering against her ribs. But the man rose too. Not fast, not slow, just deliberate, like he had all the time in the world. Leah's breath caught. She slipped out the door into the street, her pulse racing so loud it drowned the city around her. Footsteps followed, steady, heavy, matching hers. Her phone, dead in her pocket, was useless now. Her one connection to Eli, to the warnings, to safety, gone. Her only option was to keep moving. The city seemed to shift with every turn she took. Shops blurred, faces melted into shadows. The man was always behind her, never closer, never farther. A predator's pace. And she was the prey. Her lungs burned, her vision narrowed. Then, her eyes caught a narrow alley between two shuttered stores. Without thinking, she ducked in. The world darkened. Concrete walls rose on either side, graffiti scrawled like warnings from ghosts. She pressed herself against the wall, heart clawing at her throat. Silence. She dared to breathe. But then, the man's shadow stretched across the mouth of the alley. He stood there, perfectly still. And then, he smiled. Leah. Her name. The sound froze her blood. That voice, deep, steady, didn't belong to a stranger. It belonged to someone who knew her. She couldn't move, couldn't think. "Who are you?" she whispered. The man stepped forward, just enough that the dim light caught his face. Not a stranger at all. Kai. Her knees buckled. "What the hell? Kai, you followed me?" He shook his head slowly. "Not followed, protected." His words dripped like honey hiding poison. "You shouldn't be here." Leah's throat tightened. You scared me. Why didn't you just... Because you didn't listen." His voice hardened. "I told you to stay put. I told you this was dangerous." "But you don't listen, Leah. You never listen." Her breath stuttered. His eyes, those familiar eyes, were wrong now. Too sharp, too cold. "You're not," she whispered. "You're not Kai." Her vision swam. The walls of the alley seemed to close in, the ground tilting beneath her. Not Kai stepped closer. "You've been marked since Eli disappeared," he said. "You just don't realize it. They'll keep sending messages. They'll keep pulling you in. And if you keep chasing them..." His hand shot out, gripping her arm with bruising force. "You'll end up like him." Leah's chest cracked with pain. "What did you do to him?" Not Kai leaned close, his breath cold against her ear. "We didn't take him. He gave himself." Her scream ripped through the alley, but no one came. The city didn't hear. And in that instant, she felt it. Her phone, buzzing, alive again. Her hand shot into her pocket. The phone screen flickered, ghostly light spilling across the wall. A new message. She pressed play with trembling fingers. Eli's voice, ragged, desperate, filled the alley. "Run! Don't trust him! Run, Leah, now!" Not Kai's eyes snapped to the phone, and for the first time, his calm cracked. Leah wrenched free, shoving past him, sprinting out of the alley with fire in her veins. She didn't care where she went, didn't care who saw. All she knew was that Eli's voice, real or not, had saved her life. She didn't stop running until she crashed through her apartment door, collapsing against it, sobbing into the silence. Her body shook so violently she thought her bones might shatter. Her phone buzzed weakly in her palm. Battery, 2%. She opened the message again, desperate, clinging to it like a lifeline. Eli's words repeated, fractured, but undeniable. Run. Don't trust him. Run, Leah, now. She pressed the phone to her chest, tears streaming down her face. I'm listening, she whispered into the empty room. I swear, I'm listening. Her gaze lifted, and for the first time, she noticed it. The candle. Still burning. She hadn't lit it. The flame flickered gently, calm and steady, casting long shadows across her walls. It shouldn't have been there. And yet, it was. A sign, a warning, a promise. She knelt before it, whispering as if Eli could hear her. If you're out there, if this is really you, I'll find you, no matter what it takes. The flame bent, as if bowing toward her words, and for the first time in weeks, Leah felt something bloom in her chest. Not safety, not peace, but hope. Fragile, dangerous, and enough to keep her alive. But she didn't see, outside her window, the figure, standing perfectly still, watching, waiting. Episode 4, The Watcher. The candle burned low. Its flame bent and swayed, as if bowing to unseen breath. Inside the apartment, Leah clung to hope like it was the last thread keeping her alive. But outside, a figure stood beneath her window, still, silent, watching. At first, Leah didn't notice. She was too lost in her whispers, too desperate for Eli to hear her across whatever distance separated them. But something shifted. Not the air, not the flame. Her. The hairs on the back of her neck rose, prickling like needles. Her heart knew before her mind did. Someone was there. Her breath hitched. She lifted her eyes, and through the glass, she saw it. A shadow. A figure. Watching. Her scream snagged in her throat. She stumbled back, crashing into the table, the candle toppling but miraculously staying lit. Her phone slipped from her hand. The screen cracked, the last 1% of battery bleeding away. Darkness threatened to swallow her whole. She pressed herself against the wall, her pulse pounding so hard it blurred her vision. The figure didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe, until knock. A single, deliberate tap against the glass. Her knees buckled. She clamped her hands over her mouth, fighting the scream clawing its way out. Another knock. Louder. The window rattled in its frame. Her chest heaved, panic spiraling. And then, the candle flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed her apartment, thick and suffocating. Her trembling fingers scrambled for the phone on the floor. The screen, black. No messages, no Eli, no light, only silence. And then, her phone buzzed. Her breath caught, heart slamming against her ribs as the screen glowed weakly to life. One last message. No number, no sender. Just 3 words. Don't open it. Her blood froze, because now there was a new sound. Not at the window. At the door. The doorknob turned. She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The doorknob jiggled once, twice, then stopped. Her entire body shook, pressed flat against the wall, eyes locked on the door. Silence stretched, cruel and endless. Until a voice. Leah. Her name, soft, familiar. Her throat closed. She knew that voice. It was Kai. Real Kai. The Kai she'd known all her life. The Kai she thought she'd lost. Please, he whispered through the door. Let me in. They're coming. You're not safe. Her chest tightened, tears stinging her eyes. It sounded like him. It felt like him. But Eli's warning echoed in her skull. Don't trust him. Her hands shook violently. If it wasn't Kai, who or what was it? Her nails dug into her palms. Her body screamed to move, to choose, to do something before it was too late. The phone buzzed again. She looked down. Another message appeared. From Eli, or what she thought was Eli. If you open it, you'll never see me again. Her chest cracked with pain. Tears spilled down her face. Both voices tugged at her, splitting her in two. One was blood, history, memory. The other, hope, love, survival. And she had seconds. The door shook violently. "LIA! Now!" Her scream tore free as she stumbled back into the shadows, clutching her phone against her chest. "I can't," she whispered. "I can't open it." And as if the walls themselves had been listening, silence. The doorknob stilled. The footsteps faded. The night swallowed them whole. Leah collapsed to her knees, sobs racking her body, the phone slipping from her hands. She didn't know if she'd saved herself or doomed herself. But one thing was certain. Something wanted in. Something that wore familiar faces. Something that wouldn't stop. She crawled to the window, daring a glance outside. Empty street. No figure, no shadow, but scrawled into the condensation on the glass. 3 letters. Run. Her heart stopped. Because they weren't Eli's handwriting. They were Kai's. Dawn broke hours later, bleeding pale light into her shattered apartment. Leah hadn't slept. Couldn't. Her body was hollow, her mind burning with questions she couldn't silence. She stared at the cracked phone in her palm, the dead screen reflecting her hollow eyes. Somewhere in this nightmare, Eli was reaching for her. Somewhere, alive or not, he was fighting to warn her. And she couldn't stay here, waiting for the next knock, the next shadow, the next message. She had to act. She had to find him. Her hands steadied as she whispered into the empty room. "I'm not running anymore. I'm coming to you." And though silence answered her, the candle relit, on its own. But outside her door, in the hall she could not see. The figure was waiting, closer now, silent, patient, smiling. Episode 5. The Silent Hall. The hallway was quiet, too quiet. On the other side of her door, the world held its breath. No footsteps, no whispers, only silence, thick and heavy, pressing into her apartment like a weight. But she knew. Someone was out there, waiting, watching. The candle burned again. She hadn't lit it, she hadn't touched it, and yet its flame rose steady and tall, as if daring the dark to come closer. Leah crouched before it, her hands trembling. "Eli," she whispered, voice breaking. "If it's really you, give me something. Tell me what to do." The flame bent sideways, pointing toward the door. Her breath caught. "No," she hissed. "Not there. Anywhere but there." But the candle flickered again. Insistent, toward the door. Her stomach twisted. Every part of her screamed not to move. But if she stayed, the silence would crush her. She had to go. The door creaked open on a world of shadows. The hallway stretched before her, long and narrow, lit only by a single flickering bulb. She stepped out, her breath echoing in the hollow space. The door clicked shut behind her, and she froze. Because the silence wasn't empty. It was full of something breathing, something waiting. Her chest rose and fell, each breath too loud, too sharp. She took a step forward, and the bulb above her snapped out. Total darkness. Her scream caught in her throat. She stumbled back, her hands skimming the walls, desperate for an anchor. Then, her phone buzzed. Her cracked screen glowed faintly, its light a lifeline. One new message. She pressed play with trembling fingers. Eli's voice spilled out, distorted, desperate. "Don't turn around." Her blood iced. Every nerve screamed to look, to check the darkness behind her, to see what stalked her. But Eli's voice, her Eli, anchored her feet in place. She clutched the phone like a talisman, whispering through clenched teeth. Okay, I won't." Her lungs burned, every second a lifetime. Then another message appeared. "Left, now." Her body jolted. She turned left, stumbling down a side hall she hadn't noticed before. The silence followed, heavy, alive. At the end of the hall stood a door, unmarked, half open. Eli's final message blinked on the screen. "Go inside." Her knees buckled, her throat locked. "What if it's a trap?" she whispered into the dark. But the silence answered with footsteps. Slow, deliberate, behind her, closer, closer. She shoved the door open and slipped inside. Darkness swallowed her whole. The room was small, empty, the air stale, thick with dust. Her phone's glow revealed peeling wallpaper, broken furniture piled against the walls, and a cracked mirror leaning in the corner. Her reflection stared back at her, wide-eyed, terrified. But then, the reflection moved. She hadn't. Her heart stopped. The mirror Leah tilted her head, slow and deliberate, her lips curling into a smile Leah didn't feel. She staggered back, slamming into the wall, her phone slipping from her grip. The reflection pressed a hand to the glass, its eyes dark and hungry. And in a voice dripping with venom, it whispered, "Open the door." Her scream tore the silence apart. She lunged forward, snatching up her phone, hurling it at the mirror. Glass shattered, fragments raining across the floor like frozen raindrops. Her reflection split into 1,000 broken pieces. And with it, the silence broke. A roar filled the room, deep and guttural, shaking the walls. The sound of something unchained, something alive. She dropped to her knees, covering her ears, sobbing into the storm. And then, it stopped. Silence again, except for a voice, soft, familiar. "Leah!" Her head snapped up. It wasn't Kai. It wasn't the thing wearing his face. It was Eli, clear, whole. "Eli!" she whispered, tears flooding her eyes. "Is it, oh God, is it you?" "Leah," the voice said, closer now, inside the room. "I don't have long. You have to trust me." She crawled toward the sound, her heart splitting open. "I do. I swear I do. Just tell me where you are. Tell me how to find you." A pause, a breath. Then softly, "You already have." Her chest tightened. "What? What does that mean?" But the voice faded, thinning, breaking apart like mist. "Wait! Don't go! Please!" she cried. But the silence returned. And the candle, her candle, relit itself in the center of the room. On the floor, drawn in its waxy glow, was a symbol. 3 circles, interlocked. Her hand shook as she traced it. It was the same mark carved into Eli's journal, the one she'd never understood. Until now. It wasn't decoration. It was a map. Leah sat in the broken room, glass cutting into her knees, tears streaking her cheeks. But she wasn't broken anymore. She had something now, a direction, a way forward. If Eli was alive, somewhere inside this nightmare, she would find him, no matter what it took. Her cracked phone flickered, the battery gasping its last breath. One more message appeared, unreadable at first, just static. But then, slowly, the words burned through. "Don't be afraid of the silence. It's afraid of you." Her lips trembled. She whispered it aloud, letting the words settle into her bones. Not pray. Not anymore. She stood, brushing glass from her hands, her eyes locking on the dark doorway ahead, and she stepped forward, into the silence. But as she disappeared into the hall, the shattered pieces of the mirror shifted, and in their fractured depths, her reflection smiled, waiting. Episode 6, Reflections. Glass remembers. It holds the last image it was given, long after the shattering. And though Leah had broken the mirror, scattered her reflection across the floor like ice, the pieces were not finished with her. She stepped into the hallway, her shoes crunching on the shards that clung to her clothes. The silence wrapped around her again, familiar, smothering. But now she carried Eli's words in her chest. "Don't be afraid of the silence. It's afraid of you." Her heart pounded, but her spine straightened. Until she realized the walls were wrong. The hallway stretched unnaturally, bending, twisting, narrowing, and on its surface, shards of glass had grown like tumors. Dozens, hundreds. Each shard caught her in reflection. Dozens of Leahs staring back. But they weren't her, not exactly. Their eyes were darker, hungrier, their mouths curved in smiles she didn't wear. She swallowed, bile burning her throat. This wasn't just a hallway. It was a trap. One of them moved, not her. The reflection on her left blinked, its smile widening until its lips split too wide, too sharp. It pressed a hand against the glass, its palm leaving a smear of shadow. Then it whispered, "Leah!" She froze. The voice was hers, perfect, but it wasn't her. The reflection leaned forward, pressing harder, cracks spreading across the glass. "Let me out!" Her stomach lurched. She stumbled back, only to crash into another shard behind her. That Leah grinned too. "Or I'll let you in." The reflections began to move. All of them. Hundreds of faces turning in unison, hundreds of mouths stretching into jagged smiles. "Leah! Leah! Leah!" Her breath came in short, sharp bursts. She ran. Her feet pounded the endless hallway, shards of glass flashing by, each reflection chasing her with their eyes. The glass trembled, cracked, and one by one, they began to step out, hands first, arms. Faces peeling from the surface like shadows dripping into flesh. Her scream tore the silence, echoing into the void. She stumbled, her knees slamming the floor, palms scraping raw. The reflections closed in, their voices overlapping, a sea of whispers. "Stay with us. Be us. Break like us." Her vision blurred, tears spilling hot and heavy. And then the candle appeared, lit. Sitting in the middle of the hallway, flames steady, casting the shadows back. The reflections hissed, retreating from its glow. Her sobbing breath caught. It was Eli. It had to be. She crawled toward the candle, clutching it close, the warmth burning her frozen skin. "Please," she begged the flame, "please show me where to go." It bent, not toward safety, but deeper into the hall. She followed. The hallway ended in a door, tall, cracked, its paint peeling in strips like skin. She pushed it open, and nearly collapsed. The room beyond was filled with mirrors. Dozens, hundreds. Each wall, each surface covered in glass, and every reflection, every single one, turned to look at her at once. Her chest caved. It wasn't a room. It was a hive, and she was prey. The reflections spoke as one, their mouths moving together, a voice layered and warped. "You don't know what you are." Her throat locked. "I'm me," she rasped. "I'm Leah." The reflections laughed, a hollow, shattering sound. "No, you're one of us." Her knees buckled. She clutched the candle like it was life itself. "Eli," she whispered desperately, "where are you? Please, please." The mirrors trembled. And then a face appeared, not hers. Eli's, clear, strong, his eyes locked on hers through the glass. "Leah," he said, voice urgent, "you're close, but you have to resist them." Her sob cracked in her chest. "I can't. They're everywhere." "You can," Eli said firmly. "They want to make you doubt yourself. They want you to forget who you are. Don't let them." The reflections snarled, their voices overlapping. "He's not real. He's gone. We're all you have." Eli slammed his hand against the glass. "Don't listen!" Her tears spilled faster. Her body shook, but she whispered, trembling, "I trust you." The candle's flame surged high, roaring like a torch. The mirrors screamed, their surfaces rippling, cracking, splitting. Reflections clawed at the glass, their bodies writhing, melting, shattering apart. Eli's face held steady. "Break it, Leah!" Her body jolted. She grabbed the nearest shard from the floor, her palm slicing open on the edge. Blood ran hot down her wrist. She raised it high and slammed it into the mirror. Glass exploded, shards raining down in waves. The reflections shattered with it, their screams rising, twisting, dissolving into nothing. Until silence. The room lay in ruins. Shards covered the floor like snow. Her hands bled, her breath ragged, but her chest felt lighter. The whispers were gone. Only one reflection remained. Eli's. Still there. He smiled faintly, his eyes soft with something she hadn't seen since before he disappeared. Pride. "You're stronger than you know," he said. But this isn't over. Her voice cracked. Where are you? How do I reach you? His image flickered like a candle burning out. You'll find me when you find yourself. Her breath hitched. No, wait, don't go. But his face dissolved, leaving only her reflection again, her, alone. Except, not quite. She stepped closer to the last mirror, searching her reflection's eyes, and her heart froze, because the reflection smiled. But she hadn't. The smile spread slow and cruel, her mirrored self lifting a finger to her lips. Shh. The glass rippled like water, and then the reflection stepped forward, out, into her world. Episode 7. The Other Leah. Mirrors don't just reflect, they remember, and tonight, one remembered too much. Leah staggered back as the glass rippled like water. Her reflection stepped forward. Same eyes, same lips, same trembling hands. But the smile was wrong. It stretched too wide, too certain, too cruel. The other Leah tilted her head, studying the original like a predator examining prey. Finally, she whispered, voice identical but laced with venom. I was wondering how long it would take before you cracked the glass. The candle flickered violently. Its flame bent toward the other Leah, as if recoiling. Leah clutched it close, her breath ragged. What are you? She stammered. The other Leah smirked. What you bury, what you fear, what you'll become. The room thickened with tension, the air heavy and sharp. Two versions of the same girl stared each other down, one trembling with terror, the other steady, cold and smiling. Why me? Leah's voice cracked. Why are you doing this? Because you asked. The other Leah purred. Leah's chest tightened. No, I didn't. Her double took a step closer, glass crunching underfoot. Every night, every tear, every whisper to Eli, you begged for strength. You begged to not feel weak anymore. Her grin spread wider, and I answered. Leah shook her head violently, tears spilling. You're not me. You're not. But deep down, the words didn't feel true, because a part of her recognized the hunger in those eyes. The other Leah's gaze dropped to the candle flickering between them. Her smile dimmed. Still clinging to him, she sneered. To Eli. Leah hugged the flame tighter, the wax burning her palms. He's real. He's with me. Her double laughed softly, the sound chilling. If he's real, make the candle prove it. Leah's chest heaved. What? Ask it, the other Leah said. If Eli is truly speaking through the flame, ask him a question. One only he would know. The room tilted. Her pulse roared in her ears. Could she risk it? Her lips quivered as she whispered into the flame. What was the last thing you said to me? Before you disappeared. The candle burned steady, silent. No answer. Her knees weakened. Tears blurred her vision. The other Leah smiled like a knife. See, he's gone, and I'm all that's left. Rage surged, desperation clawed. No! Leah screamed, her voice cracking raw. He's not gone! He's not! She lunged at her double, candle clutched like a weapon. The other Leah caught her wrist effortlessly, strength unnatural, grip crushing. You're weak, she hissed. Pathetic. Always crying, always begging. No wonder he left you. The words sliced deeper than any blade. Tears burned down Leah's face, but she fought, kicking, thrashing, clawing at the imposter. The flame sputtered. The room shook, and suddenly, the candle went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Silence. Pitch black, only breathing, hers and another, so close, hot against her ear. You can't kill me, the other Leah whispered, because I am you. Hands like iron clamped around her shoulders. Leah screamed, thrashing blindly, nails raking through flesh that felt too real. The other's laugh echoed in the dark, every sound ricocheted, too many voices, too many whispers. Her sanity frayed like thread, until her phone buzzed. The faint glow pierced the dark. Her cracked screen lit up in her trembling hands. One new message, from Eli. She lies. I never left. Her chest caved, sobs catching in her throat. Her double hissed, retreating into the dark. Don't listen. He's a ghost. He's nothing. But the message pulsed again, brighter. You're stronger than her. Remember who you are. The words sank into her, warm, steady, alive. She rose shakily to her feet, gripping the phone like a blade. Her voice cracked, but grew steady. I'm not you. The darkness convulsed. The other Leah emerged, her grin monstrous now, jagged teeth splitting her face. She lunged. Leah raised the phone, its glow blinding. The other shrieked, recoiling as the light seared her skin. Leah pressed forward, step by trembling step, forcing the imposter back toward the broken mirror. Go back where you came from, Leah gasped, tears mixing with sweat. You don't belong here. Her double clawed at her, voice warping into a chorus of screams. You need me. No, Leah cried, shoving the phone into her chest. I need me. The other Leah shrieked as her body splintered, shattering into shards of shadow. The mirror behind her rippled and swallowed her whole. Silence returned. But it was different now. Not suffocating, not cruel, just silence. The candle relit, soft and steady, casting warm light across the ruined room. Leah collapsed to her knees, sobbing into her hands. For the first time in days, the tears felt lighter. Her phone buzzed one last time. I'm proud of you. She clutched it to her chest, whispering through her tears. Don't stop talking to me. Please. The screen flickered, battery fading. But one final word appeared before the light died. Soon. Relief washed through her, fragile but real. She stood, wiping her face, ready to step forward into whatever came next. But in the corner of the broken room, a shard of glass twitched. It lifted. And in its surface, her other self smiled again. Patient, waiting, not gone, never gone. Episode 8. The door that shouldn't exist. Not every door leads to somewhere. Some doors should never be opened at all. Leah staggered out of the shattered room, blood drying on her hands, her phone clutched like a relic. Her steps echoed in the silence, the hallway bending unnaturally again, stretching long, twisting corners that shouldn't exist. But then, she froze. Because there, at the end of the corridor, was a door. Tall, black, uneven, as if it had been carved into the wall with knives. Her chest tightened. That door had never been there before, and the walls whispered around it, a faint hum like voices pressed just out of hearing. Her pulse raced. The candle flame bent toward it, and for the first time, Leah didn't trust the flame. She approached, each step trembling, each breath shallow. The closer she came, the louder the whispers grew. Her name, over and over. Leah, Leah, Leah. It wasn't Eli's voice. It wasn't even human. She pressed her palm against the wood. It was cold, too cold. And from the other side, a knock, soft, deliberate. Her blood froze, her throat locked. Then, a voice, clear, familiar. Leah, it's me. Her chest cracked. Eli, it was Eli. Her hand trembled on the handle. Eli, she whispered, tears welling. Is it really you? Yes, the voice said, steady, desperate. It's me. Please, open the door. I'm trapped. I've been calling for you. Her knees buckled. Her whole body ached to throw the door open, to fall into his arms, to end this nightmare. But her phone buzzed. She jolted, fumbling it into her hands. One new message from Eli. Don't open it. Her heart slammed against her ribs. 2 Elis, 2 truths, and only one choice. Why not? She whispered to the phone, her tears dripping onto the cracked screen. The message blinked. Because it isn't me. Her head spun. The voice behind the door grew frantic. Don't listen to that. It's lying to you. I'm real, I'm here, and I need you. Her stomach twisted. Both voices sounded real. Both tugged at her heart. Tell me something, She begged the door. Something only Eli would know. A pause. Then, the night before I disappeared, you asked me why I loved you, and I said, because you make the dark feel less empty. Her sob ripped out of her chest. It was true. He had said that. She remembered. The phone buzzed again. He's only repeating what's in your memory. Don't trust him. Her scream broke. I don't know who to believe. The handle turned, on its own. Her breath caught, her body frozen. The door shuddered, its frame trembling, the whispers growing louder. Dozens of voices now, hundreds, all of them Eli, all begging. Open it, open it, open it. She stumbled back, clutching the candle and the phone, both shaking violently in her hands. The walls rippled like water. The floor tilted under her feet. Reality buckled, and she realized, if she didn't choose soon, the door would choose for her. She closed her eyes, sobbing, drowning in noise. And then, she remembered. Eli's real voice, not desperate, not frantic, but calm. The night before he vanished, lying beside her in the quiet, he had said one more thing. If you ever hear me beg, don't believe it. The real me would never beg. Her eyes flew open, her chest broke open with pain, and she screamed into the door. You're not him! The knocking turned violent. The whispers screamed, 1,000 voices rising in fury. The wood splintered, cracks spreading across the surface. Open it! They roared, the sound rattling the walls, shattering the candle flame. Her phone flickered violently in her hand, Eli's final message burning bright. Run. Her legs moved before her mind caught up. She sprinted down the hallway, the floor twisting, the walls groaning, the door exploding open behind her. A wind like a hurricane tore through the corridor, voices howling, hands clawing out of the blackness, reaching for her. She ran, faster than she ever had. The hallway stretched forever. Every door she passed warped, mouths opening, teeth gnashing, voices calling her name. Her chest burned, her lungs tearing with each gasp. The blackness surged behind her, devouring light, devouring sound. She clutched the phone, screaming Eli's name, begging him to answer. Nothing, only static. Her legs threatened to give, but she pushed harder, her body fueled by sheer terror. Until, there, at the very end of the impossible corridor. Another door, but this one was different. Small, plain, wooden, and glowing faintly with light. Her body collapsed against it, her hand fumbling for the handle. The blackness roared behind her, so close she could feel its breath on her neck. She shoved the door open and threw herself inside. Light swallowed her, warm, blinding, and then silence. Her body hit the floor, her breath ragged, her tears blinding her eyes. She blinked, adjusting to the glow. It wasn't her apartment, it wasn't the hall, it wasn't anything she recognized. The room was round, walls covered in strange carved symbols, and at its center, a single object, Eli's journal, open, waiting. Her trembling hands reached for it, hope blooming in her chest. But before her fingers touched the page, the door behind her slammed shut. On its surface, written in blood-red letters, were 2 words, too late. Episode 9, The Journal. Sometimes the answers you've been begging for are worse than the silence. Leah sat on the cold floor, her chest heaving, her eyes locked on the book. Eli's journal. The room around her pulsed faintly, like a living heart. Symbols carved into the walls seemed to shift when she wasn't looking, crawling closer, retreating again. She wanted to look away. She couldn't. Her trembling hand reached forward. She touched the cover, warm, too warm, like skin. She flinched, then forced herself to open it. The handwriting was Eli's. She knew it instantly, those looping letters, that impatient scrawl. Her throat tightened as tears blurred the ink. Day 1. The voice came again last night. I think it's in the wires. Leah doesn't hear it. Maybe that's good. Maybe I'm already too far gone. Her pulse quickened. He had written this before he vanished. She flipped faster. Day 3. It knows my memories, uses them against me. It sounded like her today. It said my name the way she does when she's half asleep. I almost believed it. Leah's chest cracked. She pressed a shaking fist to her lips. He had been fighting this. Alone. Halfway through, the ink changed. Sharper, darker, as if something else had taken the pen. Day 7. Don't trust the doors. Don't trust the light. If you find this, Leah, run. Don't look for me. Don't open what I couldn't close. Her breath caught. Her own name. He had written directly to her. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered into the silence. I'm here, Eli. I found it. I found you. The candle sputtered beside her, the flame bending toward the book. And then the page turned on its own. New words bled onto the paper, curling out of the parchment like veins. Not Eli's handwriting. Something else. Jagged. Hungry. Welcome back, Leah. Her body went rigid. She dropped the book, scrambling back, but the journal slid across the floor toward her, pages flipping violently, filling with fresh lines of blood-red text. We've been waiting for you. Her hands shook violently. No, this isn't real. But the book didn't stop. He's ours now. He begged, and we listened. You will beg too. The candle went out. Darkness swallowed her. In the dark, a voice broke through. Soft. Gentle. Leah. Her tears froze on her cheeks. It was Eli, but not from the phone, not from behind a door. Here, in the room. Leah, he whispered again. You shouldn't have come. Her chest shattered. Where are you? Show me. The journal snapped shut, the sound like a gunshot in the silence. The symbols on the walls flared red, glowing, writhing like open wounds. And Eli's voice turned sharp. You should have run when I told you. The floor split beneath her, cracks tearing open like mouths. From them, black liquid oozed upward, crawling across the stone, reaching toward her hands, her ankles. She screamed, kicking free, scrambling to her feet. The journal lay in the center of the room, glowing faintly, pulsing with light. One choice. Either leave it or take it. And she knew. If she left it, she'd lose him forever. Her hands shook as she snatched it from the ground. The shadows roared. The room convulsed. The door behind her blew open, light searing her eyes. Without thinking, she ran through. She stumbled back into her apartment, her real apartment, collapsing to the floor with the journal clutched to her chest. Her lungs burned, her skin crawled, but somehow, she was back. The symbols were gone. The door was gone, but the journal remained, and its cover pulsed against her skin, as if alive. Her phone buzzed weakly in her pocket. She pulled it out, screen flickering. One new voice note. Her heart stuttered. She pressed play. Eli's voice. Clear. Real. Leah, if you found the journal, then it's already too late. I'm not me anymore. I'm theirs. Please, burn it. Don't let it touch you the way it touched me. Her tears fell freely, dripping onto the phone. I can't, she whispered. I can't lose you again. But the message wasn't over. I love you. But if you love me, don't follow. Don't try to save what's already gone. The recording ended. Silence pressed in. And the journal in her arms pulsed once, harder than before, as if laughing. She curled around it, sobbing. Her heart screamed at her to keep it, to cling to the last piece of him no matter how cursed. But his voice, his plea, begged her to destroy it. Her hand hovered over the candle, flame flickering. Burn it. Keep it. Save him. Lose him. Her body shook with the weight of the choice, and as she stared into the firelight, the journal whispered, not in Eli's voice, not in any voice she recognized, but in her own. Please, don't let me go. Her heart stopped. And for the first time, Leah didn't know if the voice she heard was Eli's or her own soul breaking. Episode 10, The final message. Some choices don't save you. They only decide how much of you will remain. Leah sat on the floor, the journal pulsing in her hands like a beating heart. Eli's warnings echoed through her skull. Burn it. Don't let it touch you. Her tears fell in trembling drops, darkening the leather cover. But then came the whisper again, her own voice. Please, don't let me go. Her blood ran cold, because it didn't sound like a trick. It sounded like truth. Her truth. The candle flickered beside her, one small flame. It could end this. Her hand hovered above it, journal trembling in her grip. The flame bent toward the book, hungry. Her heart screamed. Eli's words, the whispers, the memories. She could end it now, but ending it meant losing him forever. Her tears sizzled as they hit the wax. She whispered, broken. Tell me what to do, Eli. Please, tell me. The phone buzzed. Her breath caught. One final message. She pressed play. Eli's voice filled the room. But this time, it was steady, almost calm. Leah, if you're hearing this, then I failed. I couldn't fight them off. But you still can. Her sob broke through the silence. I love you. Enough to let go. Enough to ask you to do the one thing I never could. The voice cracked, softer now. Please, Leah, burn it. And remember me. As I was. Not as I am. The recording ended. Her body trembled. Her heart begged her to keep him. But his voice begged her to let him go. The journal convulsed in her arms, slamming against her chest. Symbols crawled across her skin, glowing faintly beneath her flesh. Her scream tore through the room as black veins spread down her arms, her fingers stiffening. The journal opened itself, pages flipping violently. Words bled across them in jagged lines. Don't listen. Don't leave me. You're mine. The candle guttered. The flame bent backward, and the shadows in the room began to rise. Hands, hundreds of them, reaching for her, pulling her down. Her scream echoed like breaking glass. Her body convulsed, her vision blurred. The journal pulsed, beating with her own heart. Whispers filled her skull. Eli's laugh, her own voice. Strange cries, all tangled together. She clutched the book tighter, shaking violently, her tears blinding her. And then, she saw it. A memory, clear. The night before he vanished, Eli's hand in hers, his voice soft. If I ever get lost, promise me one thing. Don't follow me into the dark. Stay in the light. Her chest broke. Her scream ripped from her throat. And with the last strength in her body, she threw the journal into the flame. The journal shrieked as it burned. Not pages, not ink, a living thing. The room shook, walls cracking, light exploding in jagged bursts. Voices howled, thousands of them, clawing at her ears. Eli's among them, begging, screaming. Then, silence. The book crumbled into ash, and with it, the whispers died. The shadows retreated, the hands dissolved, and for the first time in weeks, the room was still. Leah collapsed, sobbing, her body trembling in the silence. The candle burned steady. The symbols on her skin faded, leaving pale scars. Her phone lay on the ground, screen black. No more messages, no more Eli. She curled into herself, the weight of grief crushing her chest, and yet, beneath the sorrow, a quiet peace settled. She had let him go. She had kept her promise, and maybe, just maybe, he was free now. Days passed. The power returned to the city. Life stumbled back into rhythm. But Leah was never the same. She carried the scars. She carried the silence. And she carried the memory of a love that the world had taken from her. For a long time, she thought the pain would consume her. She thought she could only survive by holding on to every fragment, every whisper, every shadow of Eli. But she had learned something in the fire. The more she clung to the shadow of who he had been, the more it consumed her. And the more she let go, the more of herself she was able to keep. She began to understand. Grief is not a chain meant to drag us into the dark. It is the weight that reminds us love was real. But if we chain ourselves to the echoes of the gone, we become echoes too. Eli's last gift to her was not his voice, not his memory, not the journal. It was the choice, to stay in the light, to live. One night, sitting by the window as the city buzzed back to life, Leah whispered into the dark, "I love you, Eli, always will, but I have to let you rest." No voice answered, and that was how she knew she had finally won. When we cling too tightly to those who have already crossed into the dark, we do not honor them. We bind them. In our refusal to let go, their memory twists, their love decays, and what was once light becomes shadow. And in time, those same shadows consume us until we are nothing but echoes of what we could not release. And so in silence, she chose life. The end.